Compact SUVs are the main money spinners for the auto industry at the moment. Almost all the marques in the Volkswagen Group have made SUVs for some years now. Only one did not, until now. But the time has come, says our test driver, André Zimmermann. Seat has debuted its first SUV. It's called the Ateca and is based on VW's MQB modular platform. That means many components have been tried and tested and are already used in other models. So he's curious to see how the Spanish cousin of the VW Tiguan performs. We're testing the top-of-the-line version, Excellence. It comes with Climatronic, Media System Plus with 8-inch display, a range of driving modes and a rear-view camera. Equipped with the most powerful engine, it costs about €35,500 in Germany, €4,000 less than the top-of-the-line VW Tiguan with the same engine. Our test car has a 2-litre diesel engine. It is a bit lame under 2,000 RPM, but beyond that, it comes into its own. The 400 Newton-meter torque is certainly a match for the weight of the vehicle. Seat says consumption is 5 litres per 100 kilometres, but most drivers won't get that. 7 litres is more realistic. The Ateca is one of several SUVs in the VW Group with a 4-wheel drive system that distributes power to the front and rear axles as needed. The Ateca has the typical look of a Seat. Full LED headlights are available. Its sharp exterior lines look lean and dynamic. The trunk is spacious. The rear seats are roomy too. You don't have to be a subcompact person to feel at ease. The dashboard resembles that of the Seat Leon. The start button blinks like a heartbeat. The Ateca is based on the Leon, and it is of course very similar to the VW Golf. So it's no surprise that the Ateca drives like you would expect it to. Personally, he'd like just a tad more sportiness, like we see in other Seat models. That's because of its higher centre of gravity. But the Ateca makes up for that with its excellent suspension that evens out even big bumps in the road. Seat is offering various assist systems with the MQB program. Traffic Jam Assist is one option. It helps handle stopping and starting during congestion. A real highlight is the emergency brake assistant, which is standard in all the versions. Of course, you hope you never need it, but it is good to know that it's there, should your concentration lapse for a moment, he says.
Aber es ist gut zu wissen, dass man ihn hat, falls man mal nicht ganz so aufmerksam ist.
The latest version of the city emergency brake function recognises pedestrians as well as cars. It's a useful feature for motoring in town. The rear view mirrors are large. An optional extra is a blind spot assistant. It helps ensure you don't overlook any vehicles as you turn or change lanes. The Ateca is a true sports utility vehicle, an all-rounder that fulfills its purpose wherever you are. It's a small step for the auto industry, says André, but a huge step for Seat. The Ateca doesn't have any weak spots. It's spacious and it drives well. The entry-level model price of €20,000 in Germany is extremely competitive. For him, the Ateca looks better than the Tiguan.
Für mich ist der Ateca der schönere Tiguan.
The Mercedes Cup in Stuttgart is part of the ATP World Tour. The focus today is not only on tennis, but also on cars. The Cup's main sponsor, Mercedes-Benz, is using the occasion to present the 6th generation of its mid-size station wagon variants, the E-Class T model. Tennis pro Roger Federer provides VIP testimony. He admits that as a top athlete, he's more interested in supercars and AMG, but he thinks these T models are pretty incredible too. Plenty of luxury inside and a great look, and they're very practical and functional. The new generation is also stuffed full of electronics that make driving safer and more comfortable. Mercedes board member Ola Kalenius says all the innovative technology developed for the E-Class has been put into the T model as well. With the Drive Pilot, a first step has been taken toward the self-driving car. In some situations, the car can take over the driving. Another important criterion in a station wagon is the trunk, and it's very large in the new E-Class. 640 litres fit in normally. If you load up the car to the roof, you get 1,820 litres, the equivalent of 12,000 tennis balls. The back seat can be folded down comfortably. That's still not as much as the predecessor's 1,950 litres, but that's the trade-off for a much slimmer, sportier exterior. Roger Federer says he sat in the new station wagon and was very impressed with the interior, especially the various kinds of leather. As a top athlete, he's going to stick with the AMG, he says, but the station wagon too has good styling, is a bit more aggressive and has more power than its predecessor. The sporty AMG version of this family car gets 295 kilowatts from its 3-litre engine, more than enough to go shopping or on vacation with the whole family. An optimised 9-speed automatic transmission provides all 4 wheels with plenty of power. But there's also a station wagon with 110 kilowatts at a more family-friendly price, though we're still talking about 48,000 euros in Germany. Not every E-Class buyer is also a top athlete. Volvo hopes to shake up the luxury car market with the elegant lines and power of its new S90. It's the second model after the second-generation XC90 SUV to be based on Volvo's scalable architecture platform. The S90 has a base price of 42,750 euros in Germany. The Fiat 124 Spider brings an Italian legend back to life. 50 years after the legendary Fiat 124 Sports Spider took to the roads, the new Spider brings back that authentic roadster feeling and combines it with the oomph of a modern sports car. That's supplied by a 1.4-litre turbo engine with multi-air technology. In Borussia Dortmund's soccer stadium, the Bundesliga's summer break is being used to repair and shape up the playing field. That doesn't bother our car tester Michelle Assenmacher. She's not here for a match, but to check out the seats. Seats in a stadium are not built for comfort, and after a game, people often drive home, and car seats are often not much better. Michelle is on a quest for the perfect seat. Opel has the solution, she says. In 2003, the seats in Opel's Insignia were the first car seats to be commended by the experts at the Aktion Gesunder Rücken e.V., a German organisation devoted to healthy spines. Today, many Opel models have its approval. not only for the driver's seat, but also the passenger seat as well. A correct and stable sitting position is especially important if you have an accident. On long trips, the seat support for the spine should be individually adjusted, enabling the muscles to work optimally. The second generation of certified ergonomic seats is now equipped with massage and ventilation functions, unlike soccer stadium seats. Physiotherapist Susan von der Heiden explains that a typical bucket seat is moulded in one piece and cannot be adjusted. An ergonomic seat enables active, flexible sitting. In a stadium, no fan sits still for more than 5 minutes. They're constantly in motion. But in a car seat, a person sits relatively passively. So these ergonomic seats can be adjusted in many ways, tailored to people's individuality and especially to their spine, unlike a seat in a stadium.
Dementsprechend haben wir hier auch die Einstellmöglichkeiten im Gegensatz zum Fanstuhl, zum Stadionstuhl.
Adjusting the seat begins with the right distance between the sitting surface and the pedals. The right seat height determines the driver's viewing position and optimum field of vision. The back of the seat supports upright posture, making it more comfortable to hold the steering wheel. Tilting the seat reduces pressure on the bones you sit on, and the distance from the pedals can be adjusted to suit the length of your lower legs. The sitting surface of the ergonomic seats can be lengthened or shortened to fit the legs of tall or short people. Support in the lower back is crucial for optimal backbone mobility. And here the new seats offer not only lumbar support, but also a massage function. The back and sides of the seat and the sitting surface can also be adjusted to meet individual needs. After plenty of briefing about proper sitting positions, Michelle puts it all to test in the new Opel Astra. Ergonomic seats are available in this model as an option for €390 in Germany. Of course, it takes a few moments to make all the adjustments, but the time and effort are worth it. The new memory function can save the individual preferences of two people. Ergonomic seats are less tiring for a driver, especially on long trips, but Michelle notices one thing almost immediately. Her first impression of the Astra's ergonomic seats is very favourable, and certainly better than a soccer stadium seat. The seat's massage function pumps air into and back out of the area behind your lower back and at about the middle of your back. That's very pleasant and relaxing, but after about 10 minutes it's more than enough. So Michelle turns it off. The aim of the massage function is to improve circulation and thus concentration on long trips. What Michelle likes best about this seat is that it can be adjusted individually. You can improve the lateral support and the seat length and avoid having your legs fall asleep. Michelle says she's really surprised at how good Opel's ergonomic seats feel, and she can imagine driving long distances in comfort. How does Opel plan to continue developing its seats? Andrew Leuchtmann, Opel's senior manager of seat engineering, says a car seat is extremely complex and one of the most expensive parts in the whole car. 10% of production costs go into the seats. Car seat development is tremendously dynamic, and Opel is working on a number of improvements in the areas of safety, functionality and design. With everything his department has in the pipeline, his job is far from boring.
Und ist noch viel, was wir als Opel hier in der Pipeline haben.
In the future, Opel wants to shave weight from the seats as well, and if driving to the soccer match is so comfortable, maybe someday we'll see fans carrying their seats into the stadium. For over 40 years, the Polo has been one of Volkswagen's top sellers. For 5 generations, little VW has always moved with the times. The design of the Polo is modern and timeless. It's become more fuel efficient thanks to Blue Motion technology. VW has also given the Polo a wide range of comfort and safety equipment. Our car tester, Mathis Kurat, says you don't have to compromise very much if you decide on a car like the VW Polo. There's a navigation system, automatic air conditioning, a multi-function steering wheel, electric windows and power mirrors. But there are still a few points where you notice you're sitting in a small car. For example, the seats are slightly shorter than in the Golf, so if you're tall or going on a long journey, it's just not quite as comfortable. And it's simply noisier inside than in a larger vehicle. The Polo has a multi-collision brake as standard. It's meant to prevent one accident from causing another. Automatic distance control is optional, as is front assist, which helps avoid collisions with traffic ahead through a radar sensor in the lower air intake. In Germany, this safety feature can be had for an additional charge of €515. It's cutting-edge technology that not every car maker offers in this class. Mathis says VW's previous diesel engines produced 66 kilowatts from 1.9 litres. Now its 1.4 litre engines can do the same job. But the noise level has somehow stayed the same. Let's take a look at the technical data of our 66 kilowatt 1.4 litre TDI. VW says it's very fuel efficient and consumes only 3.6 litres of diesel per 100 kilometres. Its acceleration of 10.9 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour doesn't sound so spectacular, but it has pulling power, reaching maximum torque of 230 Newton meters at only 1,750 RPM. Mathis says that although a 1.4 is a relatively small engine for a diesel, it has plenty of low-end torque, and that deserves respect, because it's something a lot of much larger engines don't have.
Die das schlechter hinbekommen.
The infotainment system in the Polo offers the same technology that is available in the Golf. Our test car is equipped with the Sport Select suspension. This allows a choice of 2 different levels of ride firmness, just by pressing a button. Mathis says when the first VW Polo came on the market over 40 years ago, it was not only significantly smaller, but its craftsmanship was significantly worse. There's no longer any sign of that today. It has a padded dashboard, which he says is always very important. The steering wheel fits very comfortably in your hand. The seats provide good back support, not just around town, but even on longer journeys.
Dass man eben nicht nur 20 Kilometer drauf sitzen kann, sondern auch mal 200.
He says the VW Polo is certainly not the peppiest small car on the market, but it is probably one of the small cars that's easiest to get used to, thanks to the logical VW controls developed over many years, which are very easy to understand. You don't need an advanced degree to drive away or to operate all the important functions. The current Polo is already 2 years old. VW is working on its successor and will unveil the 6th generation Polo at the Geneva Motor Show in the spring. It's set to add even more new technology, including a parking and congestion assistant. Meet the BMW 503 Cabriolet. a car that wowed car lovers. It was the first German car with an electric soft top as standard equipment. Its chassis was entirely of aluminium. It was the first mass-produced car with a light alloy V8 engine, and the sound was music to the ear. In 1956, BMW brought out the company's most expensive model up till then, the 503 in the coupe and convertible versions. Each sold for 29,500 marks, the price of a single family home. Michael Pritchoff has owned his 503 Cabriolet for many years now, and he's still thrilled by it. He invites us to imagine it's 1956, just 11 years after the end of World War II. Suddenly, there's the first car with a V8 engine and 150 horsepower. And it can go 190 kilometers an hour. That stacked up to the Mercedes 300 SL with its gull-wing doors, which was a gigantic car. There really wasn't much else like it in Germany at the time. For him, the 503 still tops it all.
Also wirklich eine Schau, ein Überauto, wenn man das so bezeichnen will.
The 503 Cabriolet was a luxury car for factory owners and film stars. Wealthy industrialists like Count Faber-Castell and Rudolf August Oetker drove them in the 1950s. The elegant two-door model took home gold medals from car shows in Cannes, Rome, Lisbon and Vienna. Michael Pritchoff waxes enthusiastic about the car's power, comfort and size. The technology is simple, nicer than in modern cars. The 503 holds 4 people comfortably, making it great for holidays. And that's without sacrificing sportiness. The only thing to slow him down is when there's traffic on the road. The aluminium chassis was built by the chassis specialist company Bauer in Stuttgart. The design didn't follow any trends from abroad. BMW came up with it on its own. The 503 marked a turning point in BMW design, a shift from pre-war taste to a leaner and more modern look. The understated pontoon shape did without flashy effects and followed the ideal proportions of a Gran Turismo car, a long hood and a short rear end. In its technology, the 503 was based on the big BMW sedans, the 501 and 502. The frame, engine, transmission and axles were almost identical. The interior is impressive too, with its clean beauty and 1950s aesthetics. Three round gauges inlaid in a metal dashboard and a few ivory-coloured buttons. In 1956, this was the state-of-the-art luxury. But the 503 came at a difficult time for BMW. Few people in post-war Germany could afford such exclusive cars. BMW produced only 139 of the convertible version over the course of 5 years. By the late 1950s, BMW was on the verge of bankruptcy. The company rescued itself with small cars like the Isetta and the BMW 700, but of course they didn't have the luxury or the power of a 503. The engine, the world's first cast aluminium V8, was a masterpiece of German engineering. 2 carburetors fed it fuel. Later versions had outputs of 119 kilowatts. At the time, even Mercedes was offering only 6-cylinder engines. Today, a 503 convertible in good shape will set you back €250,000. When it comes to vintage cars, BMW's 503 is a crown jewel.